We offer a different way of sending flowers. So you can send someone real flowers without providing their delivery address. People really love this idea. We did go viral and we had 4.2 million views in a day. It was important to me that people sent flowers to my father's service, and they did. And then I realized, okay, this is about connection. This is about being thought of and being cared for and remembered. So that's when it's grown for me.
Here's Christina Gott from the Online Writing Club. And today I am joined by Brian Gomez. And here's joining us today because we want to talk about a new way to show your appreciation for essayists, someone who's sharing their poems, or someone who's sharing a bit more about AI and stuff. And Brian, welcome. You're tuning in from Canada today.
That's right. Thanks for having me, Christina. It's good to be here.
So with Brian and me, before the live session, he needed to set up his Substack and everything because Brian is not from the Substack ecosystem, which I love. And I found Brian last year already when I was looking for new ways to show you how you can show your appreciation for writers, because I know that many on Substack, they say, well, you know what, paid subscriptions are nice, but might there also not be other ways so that my readers can, show their appreciation? This would be the idea of this session today. And for this, we have Brian here. And the idea I always have is, of course, I'm helping people getting these paid subscriptions, getting these paid subscribers. But what if it doesn't work? Or what if you have the feeling that your audience doesn't want to become like a member and then pay you on an annual or monthly level? And this is what Brian here is for, because he has a very innovative idea. Maybe, Brian, you can already touch on this a bit more, and then I can show also the other ways on how you can show your appreciation beyond paid subscriptions.
That sounds great. Our service is called Social Flowers. It's a flower delivery service, but we offer a different way of sending flowers. So you can send someone real flowers without providing their delivery address. So this means you just need their email, mobile, or even a social media connection. The recipient receives a link. They provide the delivery address, and then we deliver flowers and keep information private. And currently we deliver across the US and Canada. So flowers can be sent without providing a delivery address. And the link could even be sent through a DM on Substack.
This is pretty cool. This is an innovative approach. And I wanted to show you what is possible when we're thinking about Substack. Usually you want to bring your following maybe from Instagram, YouTube or whatever to Substack. And then the idea would be people would start following you. People would start then maybe becoming subscribers. And then at a later point, people would then say, you know what, I'm going to become a paid subscriber. We're always comparing this to dating. And then at some point, someone would say, you know what, I want to marry this person. But the question is then always, what if I'm not growing? Or what if I feel stuck? What if my growth plateaus? Aren't there other ways beyond paid subscriptions? And you know that I love paid subscriptions and recurring revenue. But this one from Brian, he touched on this already. This is really, really cool. So I want to show you what is possible, and then show you what it means with the flowers. Because what I, for instance, did when I started writing online, I added to my Medium blog also a tip jar, which you also can do on Substack, of course. And you can do it, for instance, through Ko-fi, or you can also do this through Patreon, or you can do this, for instance, through Buy Me a Coffee. So these are all amazing platforms and donation opportunities where people can then say, you know what, I love this person so much, I'm going to donate whatever, $50, $100. And this is going to be a one-time payment. So there is not this I need to unsubscribe or I need to stop my payments or whatever. I think Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-fi are nice. I earned some money, some $1,000 with this on Medium. With Patreon, of course, it's a bit different, because with Patreon, you can then, for instance, say, you know what, I love this person so much, I'm going to type in Ko-fi, and Buy Me a Coffee also changed now, but I'm going to type in whatever, I'm going to support this person with $200 or so. And you might be surprised how many people actually are using this then. This is why also Medium then later integrated this. On Substack, because everything, of course, is about paid subscriptions, we don't have this. But this is something that you can do. And so with the flowers, I love this so much because, well, I'm a woman. I love flowers. I love gardening. And when I heard about Brian's innovative idea, I was like, oh my God. And now maybe you can tell us a bit more about this, and then we can go on your website so everyone can see what they can do with it and how to add this to their Substack, and how, if you are a reader and not actually a writer on Substack, how you can use this.
Yeah, I want to say a bit about the money versus flowers. So I think it's not just about flowers. It's about a deeper connection with your audience and about being adored and celebrated. When you're really receiving social flowers, you're letting one of your fans or followers into your life in an intimate way. So you're really being celebrated and adored. And sometimes you get to show off a little bit and say, hey, look, my fans sent me these beautiful flowers. So monetization, of course, it's important to, earn a living. Here, it's an opportunity about connection with the fans. I think it goes beyond a tip jar in a different way. And it's making fans feel special, and it's making the creator feel special, and it's increasing that connection with the creator and their audience. So I think it's a unique way to let your followers into your life.
How did you come up with this idea, Brian?
It's interesting. The social flowers concept what came out of a blog post from a founder of a dating website, and we took that and ran with it.
Could you tell us a bit more about this dating website?
Absolutely, it was actually Plenty of Fish. It was Marcus' friend. Social flowers has been around since 2007, so it was around 2007 that Marcus put out a blog post, and he actually did try and implement it on the Plenty of Fish website. At the time, Plenty of Fish was huge. So I think that any revenue that would have come out of flowers would have been dwarfed by the ad revenue. I think there was still a lot of merit there. And I think that it could have been implemented in some different ways at the time.
Mhm.
And we were actually the first ones to send flowers on Facebook back in 2007. And we've just given social flowers a lot more love and attention now. Our flower delivery company has a few different brands and components. We have integrations and specialize in the funeral industry, but this was, I think, something we missed the importance of. So, for example, people really love this idea. We did go viral, and we had 4.2 million views in a day. So it was nice. It was a confirmation that we had something special that people really liked. We're primarily in the US. So I would say about 95% of our orders are in the US. We deliver across the US and Canada through local florists. So even when we started, it was primarily in the US, and it still is primarily in the US.
You started this already in 2007, because I've never ever heard about it. And then last year I heard about it and I was like, oh, I love this idea. For instance, if a creator, a writer friend of mine would have celebrate their birthday and I could then send them, for instance, flowers. I love this idea, especially if these women, but I don't know, of course, also many men love flowers so much. And do you also like have some connection to flowers? Is it like also a thing? Do you love gardening or whatever, like go outdoors and enjoy nature? Or where is this coming from? Because if you have an idea and you get like this viral post, there still needs to be some why or some source why you're doing this, and for so long, since 2007.
That's a good question. My business partner, he has a long history in flowers. And this is where I'll start with him, actually, because I think it makes more sense. Our parent company has been delivering online since 1999, but he has a local florist business that goes back to 1959 in Long Island, New York. And his grandfather even had greenhouses into the early 1900s.
Oh.
Yeah. And his family has done so much in the flower space. His brother's a wholesaler, another one grows flowers, another one supplies CVS stores. So to me, I'm honored, to be honest with you, because I consider them one of the first families of flowers. I'm sure there's quite a few who have done a lot, but they are one of them. So we could never have done this without him. When I started, to be honest, got internet traffic and I sent it to different sites and did affiliate programs. Flowers was one of them. And then I focused on flowers over time. I think my love and appreciation for flowers has grown over time. So, for example, my father passed in 2009. that's when I really realized the importance of flowers. It was important to me that people sent flowers to my father's service, and they did. And then I realized, okay, this is about connection. This is about being thought of and being cared for and remembered. So that's when it's grown for me. And now I love the creative and innovative aspects. I think we're still doing things that are creative and innovative, things are unfolding. So I really enjoy that. And then I enjoy seeing the lives we touch, like seeing the recipients glowing about the flowers that they received and offering primarily men a way to connect with women through flowers. So yeah, there's different aspects of the flowers, but I can't say that initially I loved flowers or gardening, but have come to appreciate them and see their value more over time.
Brian and I, we also talked before about like whether, for instance, you could send me to Germany some flowers. This is not yet here, but you heard already this like was 95% in America. Of course, like America is then the primary market, but I could send flowers to someone in America. So for instance, Karen Salmonson, she's in New York City in a skyscraper. So I could send then flowers to her, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back to why I think it really makes it easy, you don't have to worry about where she is in New York City, or even if you thought she was in New York City, she's somewhere else. You don't need the address. You just need email, some type of way that they can receive a link. And we have been asked to go international, and it's very tempting and we're honored, but we want to do it at the right time. I think there's a few more things for us to do here in the US and Canada, but we would like a service international to some countries within the next year or so. So I'll put that out there, that would be our hope and our goal to have something international.
And maybe we can take a closer look already at the socialflowers.com and how we as writers, but also as readers can using this. We have to say, okay, this is what readers can do. This is what the writers can do. So this is socialflowers.com. Maybe you can guide us a bit through the site, okay? And tell us maybe from the point of a writer what we could do if we're gonna say, you know what, money is nice, but flowers would be much better to put a smile on my face. And or if you are a reader and I would want to support someone else.
Yeah, sure. Let's go through it. I think how it works is a good place to start. Some people get the social flowers concept very quickly, and sometimes it takes a little bit. So why don't you click on social flower or how it works? Yeah. So it once again explains that it's an email, mobile, or a social media connection. And I'll explain that a little bit more. If you have the recipient's email or mobile number, we'll send them an email or a text message on your behalf. And it'll say, oh, Christina has sent you flowers. We actually call it You've Got Flowers. The recipient would click on that link and be taken to the You've Got Flowers page. If you just have a social media connection, so say you just knew them through Substack or Instagram, then during checkout, you're going to say, I don't have their email or mobile number. We're going to provide you with a link that you can send to them. So if it's email or text, we'll send them the link. If it's social media, you will send them the link. But either way, the recipient will get a link, and then they will click on that link and they will choose where and when to receive the flowers. So they'll provide a delivery address and a time. And see, I think a time is really important to the component of receiving flowers. Sometimes you know their address, but you don't know when they'll be home or when they want to receive it. But the recipient will choose where and when they want to receive their flowers. And then once that's provided, we keep the information private. So no personal details are shared with the sender. And we deliver across the US and Canada. And I think another aspect of it is that little credit card symbol saying that if the recipient doesn't accept, then the sender doesn't pay anything. So you can, it's a bit of risk free. And we have an 80% acceptance rate. So You've Got Flowers link comes along with a message from the sender. So for example, hey, I love your work on Substack. I've been a fan for years. That is an explanation as to why or who it's coming from as well. Because people say, oh, isn't this a scam? Or sorry, when I explain this to people, they ask about, oh, why would people click on the link? Well, it's coming with a personalized message. And I think the 80% acceptance rate is really showing that the connection between the sender and the recipient, and that flowers just aren't being sent randomly. Oh, and then photos and videos. I think that's a really cool feature we have too. So if somebody shares a photo or a video, let's just say a video of them and their flowers, and they post it online and tag us, the recipient gets $50 off on a future order, and so does the sender. So it's actually $100 in credits for just tagging us and posting flowers. And if they don't want to appear with their flowers, if they just show the flowers themselves, then they get a $30 credit and a $30 credit for the recipient and sender.
So I think this is also something like for indie writers, indie authors, because you don't have to be like huge or so. This can also be like a beginner newsletter or so, where then someone wants to say happy birthday or just showing their appreciation for the specific person, and then you can even this is a win-win somehow. So you can support others, and then they're gonna get whatever, like have some money to support others and send them flowers, and so somehow this is like a snowball or flower ball effect.
I like
I
that.
love this.
Flower ball.
Yeah, flower ball
Love it.
effect. Yeah, and but one question, Brian. I don't know whether you want to talk about this, but
Sure.
like 20%. What does happen with these bouquets of flowers then? If someone is ringing on the door and then this creator isn't opening the door, what does happen with the flowers? Do you like gift them to someone, or so 20 in 100 don't take the flowers? And I would wonder why. But you touched on this already. You said like maybe it's a scam or so, but it's flowers. But yeah. But it's new.
Well,
Somehow it's new. You're telling me this. It started in 2007, but I'm still like, I had no clue that this was existing. I think most of the people joining as well.
absolutely. And that's what we want to do is create brand awareness. I think when people hear about the product and understand it, they will like it and gravitate to it. So it's our job in letting people hear about it. But yeah, let's talk about that. So I think 80% is a fantastic number to start with. I think we can increase that to over 90%. But it also shows, like to me, how this is about flowers with consent. So sometimes people are actively declining. Say somebody is trying to get back with an ex-girlfriend but they don't want to do that. So they're going to actively decline, and that's just fine. It's a way of somebody putting something out there and somebody consenting to receive the flowers. Sometimes it's just an issue of they didn't get the message, or they're traveling, or they didn't see things. So there can be a few different reasons for that 20%, but
Mm.
we actually appreciate that they exist and appreciate that people can either decline or just be out and about and not be able to accept. And then we like the provision that the sender is not charged. But what doesn't happen is that the flowers are not just showing up. So the flowers aren't just going to show up to Christina. It's because you actively accepted. And because you actively accepted,
Yeah.
there's a very high degree that you're going to be at home when you said the flowers are going to be there.
For instance, I love someone on the internet streets, then I say, hey, I want to choose a fresh bouquet, go on socialflowers.com. And then I'm going to say, hey, this is a social media connection here to this person. And then already is like the first stage where this person could then say, no, I don't want to, right? I don't want to receive any flowers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
This is the first one, but this is not going into the 20%. Then it's the 20% really means like someone's ringing on the door, and then this person is not.
No, 20%, they're not ringing on the door. Like when
I see.
when
Okay.
people
Cool.
have accepted, like if there's a schedule, say you accepted flowers and you
Yeah.
forgot, we'll work with you to make it right, have it redelivered, something like that. But the 20%, like once you've accepted, the degree of delivery is going to be almost perfect or very, very high.
Now
It-
I understand. Oh, thanks
right?
you for
It's
clarifying.
20% they didn't accept, and then the sender is not paying. Oh, and you just
Okay.
reminded me of a couple of things that I'd like to mention too. I think another innovative thing we've done is we've created something called senders and recipients choice. So say you want to send flowers, but you don't know what somebody wants, you can specify an amount and send recipients choice. That means I'm sending you flowers. Now, Christina, you can pick flower types, colors, and style of arrangement.
Mhm.
So you might say, I want, you know, pink and white in a low vase, and I want certain flower types. So it allows somebody to send flowers when they are unsure about what the recipient wants, or if they're very sure about what they want to send, then they can use sender's choice. And I also want to throw in there that we do accept cryptocurrency, and we're very proud of that to support crypto in a way that can be actually used to send real world products such as flowers that can help connection between people.
What I was wondering, so does it then start with this one here? Like these are the best sellers, and they are most of them are starting at $100 or so, right?
Yes, $100 are minimum. If you go to shop and then high end, which we should really call luxury.
And there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were asking
Oh,
about the
okay.
higher
Wow.
end,
Yeah.
so we can do that. And then recipient's choice currently goes up to 500. And you know what? We have regularly arrangements in several $100s.
It's really a nice thing, not just for birthdays, but also if you think something is very special to you, you shared a very personal, vulnerable essay, or for instance, you shared that, for instance, whatever have an ex and you're super sad, or whatever happens in your life, and so the reader can somehow take part in your life by sending you a gift that actually comes into the houses, and then they can grab and put in a vase, which I love. So there is more this. It's not just reading and commenting and everything is like online. It's more like this in real life. I'm getting these flowers. If I would say, hey, I'm open, I would, if you want to, this is my birthday and I would love to put this on my Substack, then there is the option to send me flowers. And I would have like 100 true fans, and all of them would say, I would love to send Christina flowers. Of course, I couldn't accept 100. This would be also not sustainable somehow. I wouldn't do this because I would have to. I don't know. I don't have the room here in the house for 100, or I would have. You know what I mean? Like the kids are running around. Doesn't make sense. So then I would just say, okay, I'm accepting then 2 or 3 people and picking them.
Yeah, exactly. So you're talking about the problem of I've gotten too many flowers now, right? Yeah. And
Exactly.
it's flowers with consent. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You can accept the ones you want. And when you don't, the sender's not paying. There's no harm, no foul. One thing, and it's very interesting what you said. Could you show the Flower Me page? Because we've taken it one step further. Scroll down just a little bit. We need to yeah, and to learn more on the
Yeah.
yes. We created something called Flower Me within Social Flower. So it's the same service, it's just a different page. And what Flower Me does, it lets you create a profile. And when we say profile, we mean a display name, a photo of yourself, and then you can curate a flower wish list. So that means that now people can send you flowers without even knowing your email, mobile, or even having a social media connection. And we think that creators and people with an online presence can, in fact, beautify their home all year round if they have a large enough audience.
If I'm listening to this, if I'm watching this, what would I do now? I would then go on flowerme.socialflowers.com.
As a recipient, you can just mention that you love to receive flowers, or you can create a Flower Me profile. So we're looking at it from the recipient angle. You can just, I think, just mention that you love social flowers, capitalize social and flowers so that people know that it's a brand. I think people can Google it and they'll figure it out, find it. Or you can put a direct link and they would come. Or you can create a Flower Me profile with your photo, with a curated wish list of your favorites, and then link to your Flower Me profile from Substack, from your website, from your social media channels, and people can send you flowers. So we've just launched Flower Me. It's working already. We need to get the word out there more about that.
I would, of course, also love to test it. Unfortunately, for me, it doesn't make sense because I'm in Germany. But I think everyone who is in America should definitely test it, and also in Canada. And I think this is amazing. And in addition, I asked Brian to send me some of the people who are using this already. We also talked about like Substack, but apparently there is so far no one on Substack. I, of course, would love to become this person, but I can't become this person. We talked about this because it's not yet ready in Germany. But if someone is testing this, it would be amazing to keeping me in the loop so I can then feature it one more time. And also for Brian, this would be cool. This would be like my intention. And often you're just thinking, no one is reading your stuff, no one is caring, but there are so many people lurking in the dark. There might be this one moment where they're going to say, oh, I love this essay so much. this was so special to me, and it has like also like linked back to my own past where doesn't that happen, or also I suffer from this trauma and I want to support you, whatever. And so I think this is an amazing thing beyond money. Okay, going beyond money, because for many writers who are, for instance, also 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus, whatever, it's not so much about money. It's more about, like, again, what I said, like appreciation, so that people see you, be seen, like you might notice here from Jen Gottlieb. I'm a huge fan, be seen, this is the one thing in life. So I picked some here. I found this one from Athena Bastet, for instance, here.
Mhm.
Apparently she's on X. And tell us a bit more about the influencers.
Yeah. I think that anyone can use social flowers to have a deeper connection with your audience. And what you were just saying, I think that encapsulates it and says it so well. It's about being picked up, lifted up, having that deeper connection, that intimacy between the follower and the creator. So we have a variety of creators on X. Here's Athena.
This is something special, I thought, with Jessa Rose, because already her name is Jessa Rose. Then she's a confidence coach, hand holder, extraordinary collector of forehead kisses, and experienced cuddler with the sundress addiction. So I love her so much. She so looks like flowers. She's all about flowers. The dresses are printed with flowers and stuff. And she, for instance, shared in one of the posts here from April, thank you for the triple flower delivery, darling. I love being surrounded by flowers. Funny story, when I opened the door for the delivery, the guy looks at me and goes, wow, I deliver flowers to her a lot, to here a lot. I love this one. And apparently she's super proud of this. Can you share a bit more about Jessa, or like the feedback you get and the feeling from the people, like maybe who are opening the doors for the first time?
Absolutely. We love Jessa. She has been receiving flowers from us for a long time. When we went viral, she was actually on our homepage. So she loves flowers. Her name is actually Jessa Rose, which I think is so
Yeah.
fitting. She created a Flower Me profile, and she's receiving flowers through Flower Me. It's just wonderful to have her and Athena be part of Flower Me program and fans of social flowers.
What is the feedback you get, or the feeling that people are talking about the first time they are getting these bouquets of flowers?
It's such a good question. Well, I actually really love hearing about how people feel when they get them. And there's so many wonderful comments on, if you can go back to our What People Say page on our website,
Sure.
if you could do that, because I'm so proud of that page and for people posting online. For sure, we give credits when people share photos and videos, but people are doing this out of their own free will. They're being our ambassadors. They're posting themselves with their flowers online. They're trusting us, and they're vouching for our service in a public way, which is so meaningful. So, with the people on our What People Say page, those are organic, unsolicited comments and reviews. And they make me so happy. They put a smile on our face. So there, I think we can see the reactions, but they're so touching. They're so heartfelt, and they show that connection between the sender and the recipient. And I think that that's what's so special, that can go beyond, the monetary exchange. Do you mind scrolling up towards the lower part of the page? We put just the flowers themselves. And then, yep, there's Jessa again. And if you can roll up, yeah. So these are real people receiving our flowers and sharing how they felt and what it meant to them.
If I'm sending flowers, how long will they stay fresh? Or how long can I keep them in my house?
That's a good question. And then actually that leads me to something that we want to offer soon, and we will be offering soon. When you get florist delivered flowers, not just from us, but from any other company, they should generally last, at least a week and be in good shape. Flowers can last longer too. Proud to say that we've had some 10-day, 2 weeks kind of thing. It's not the standard, but flowers should stay fresh and look good for at least a week and longer. We're coming out with something called lasting flowers, which are preserved flowers. They are real flowers, but they are soft to the touch. They are good for a few years. So in this way, they can actually be used as decor or decorative pieces around the home.
I learned so much also like about the origin story. I think this was one of the best things about it. Yeah, and I think everyone should use it. And I would again also test it. I can't unfortunately, but I from Germany or from Europe, I can support then the writers in America and in Canada. We also learned that, for instance, these flower bouquets start at $100. Why do they start at $100?
Flowers in North America come primarily from Ecuador and Colombia. So they are, farm costs, they are shipping costs, they are cold storage costs, a lot of transportation, and there's local florists involved. So unfortunately, flowers are just expensive. We price our flowers, I think, fairly, kind of the mid-market range for florists delivered. Just as we're discussing this, we're going to put some credits into your account, and we'd love you to send flowers to somebody in North America.
Yeah. So, for instance, I had a boot camp with Ellen. Ellen is, in this case, Ellen is in Florida, and Karen, for instance, she's in New York. Could I do something like this?
Absolutely. We'll make that happen. We'll put some credits into your account. Well, I don't think you have got an account yet. Create an account.
I need to create the account. And where would I need to go again to create this account?
Yeah.
This was what you showed me with how it works, right?
Yep. If you can go to the account icon or the person icon on the right. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Great. Actually, that's for sign in, but if you can scroll down to create account right there. Yep. Just with an email.
This is the one. I see. Cool. So I could do this. You would see me. You would give me some creds, and then I could send. But nobody does. Should tell Alan and Karen about this. Cool. And then Alan and Karen could pay this forward. This is nice.
Absolutely. And it would be fantastic to, yes, you can follow up in any way you like.
I love this idea. And also this whole thing, as you said, it's memorable. It's this moment when you're opening the door and it's coming from this online experience to an in real life experience because you're actually getting these flowers. So for instance, I would love to meet Karen. I would love to meet Alan. I would love to meet so many online writing club members, but they are somewhere all around the world. I have two kids, work, everything. But sending them some flowers and then actually seeing them grabbing the blossoms and stuff, this is the petals, this is the best, I think. Do you also have the feeling that it has a lot to do with emotions then also compared to money?
100%. There's the monetary aspects, and then there's the deeper connection, the moment that people that are primarily online can share.
If we would have another interview in a year, which would of course be amazing to see how this whole idea is growing, where would you love to see your company and this whole flower business?
First is that it's more recognized. It's just more of a household name or a brand that people, when they hear about social flowers, it's like, yeah, I've heard of that, or I've used it, or I've known somebody that has. So just more recognition, more brand awareness. And I think the service and the story will take care of itself. But as well, I'd like to see Flower Me profiles grow. I'd like to see us have our lasting products in place, potentially extending to some things in a year. So I've got we'll say lasting flowers. I won't get ahead of myself. Flower Me profiles, and then international in place. That is something that we probably had, I would say, 30 requests. And to me, every time you get a request, there's a lot more people that haven't made the request and reached out. So there's some demand there. So international, lasting flowers, brand awareness, and greater adoption. Well, we've just released Flower Me, and without any marketing, I'm fairly happy with how it's being picked up. But yes, hitting on those things just mentioned.
Cool. And do you have also planned some, let's call it marketing campaign or so when it comes to Substack? Is there anything, or you don't have to tell us now, but maybe there's something I can also offer through the online writing club. So you're going to say, you know what, there are going to be 3 people or so. You're going to get some creds, or you can test it, or we talked about this flower ball effect. You know what I mean? So somehow that it's getting started by one. So we're going to start it, of course, with Alan and Karen. Again, don't tell Alan and Karen that they, but of course they need to consent. We're going to start this. So maybe there got to be some more.
I'm just thinking of the practical implementation ways, but let's just say that we'll have something that you can give out to your online writing club that they can use or send. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, because I think it's always the best to then test it. And there are so many wonderful events then to support another writer. Brian, if we now are in love, this is usually like the thing that I'm asking always in the end. If we are now in love with you, and especially now, of course, with your company, what is like the best place to connect with you? Because I know you are also on some socials. Do you maybe also plan to be on Substack or so?
Yes, with me personally or with the company? Sorry.
Whatever you think, with
Okay.
you and or the company.
Okay. So if you can scroll down to, the bottom of our page, we've got our socials listed there. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So you could, yes, on the bottom left there, you can connect with us there. I'm on LinkedIn. My name's Brian Gomes. I actually don't have other social media. I'm primarily a Reddit guy, and nobody really connects on Reddit. So you could find me on LinkedIn or connect through our social media channels. And for sure, if you want to connect with me personally on social media too, just mention Brian. Sometimes I check our socials. Somebody else generally does that, but you can connect with me or the company, and we'd love to hear from you and love just whatever feedback you have. Service and quality is very, very important to us. I think we do a very good job, but things aren't always perfect. And if anybody ever has an issue with service or any aspect of it, please reach out to me personally. Those are the types of things that I do get involved in.
You seem to be very like approachable. So if you want to, you can also reach out to Brian if you have any questions. And it's nothing there compared to this, as far as I know. I don't know whether there is another flower service. Are you the only one, or is there another one?
We're the only ones in North America. I believe there's a service in maybe Russia that does this. And I'm not really sure on how active that service is, but yes, generally,
Yeah.
here we are.
Cool. So it's super unique, For instance, with the On Writing Club, we're always talking about like this, because you're talking about like branding, and there might be some listeners already like, oh my god, don't tell me anything about branding. I hate it. I hate sounding salesy. Blah blah blah. I'm not a brand. I'm a writer. However, everyone, everything, if it's a company, a celebrity, Brian's business with social flowers, no matter what it is, there's always like, underneath everything, there is a DNA. So this is like identity-based marketing and brand building. And so I think this is like always coming back to this DNA, this thumbprint. And I think when it comes to social flowers, especially because this is something that I didn't found on the website, except you're going to tell me I'm wrong. But I would put also this with the greenhouses and everything, this story, this origin story on it. I don't know, maybe you have it or not. You know what I mean? Like this timeline.
Thank you. We've got some minimal references at the bottom of our About page. We talk about going back to family florist business in 1969.
But if it comes to an About, similar to Substack, this is like the best thing that can happen. If this would be, for instance, a Substack publication, or also if this would be, it is a website, it is a landing page. But if people come there, Brian, I would highlight this more. And maybe you have also some pictures to show, even if it's like black and white pictures. So this origin story, this is the lean in story, and this is then coming back to this being you, being the youest you can be, and having like this thumbprint, which I think has your company already. But with this would add another layer to it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. We can definitely find you in better ways of telling your story.
Thank you so much for joining us, all the others as well. And again, it was delightful, Brian. Wish you all the best and talk soon, my friend, okay?
Thank you so much. And we're going to follow up with your flowers and flowers for your audience too, okay?
Can't wait.
Awesome.
So more flower power to everyone.
Thank you so much, Christina.